Volume number one, our goal today is I can use formulas to find volume of a cube, prism, cylinder, cone, pyramid, and sphere. All right, these are some various formulas that you'll be given if you're taking the test in my class. So if you want to pause the video, write these down, take a picture of this, whatever. These are all your formulas. So the rectangular prism below has a base area of 41 square units and a height of 15 units. Find its volume. So for a prism, what makes a prism is that you have the same shape on the front and the back of it. So if you look here, this is a rectangle here. This is my base. And if I look all the way in the back, that's also a rectangle. So that's what makes it a prism. So your formula here is volume equals area of the base times the height. So my height is 15 units, and my area of the base is 41 square units. So my volume is 41 times 15. So when I multiply that out, I get my volume is 615 cubic units now. Okay. Here's another one. Area of the base times the height. This time my base is a hexagon. So again, this area of that blue hexagon is 36, and you see how I have a hexagon on the front and the back. So my height is 5.9. My base is 36 square units. So my volume is 36 times 5.9. I get my volume is 212.4 cubic units. Okay. Now it's also important to understand that they gave us the area of this base. It could be possible that you get a hexagon like that, and maybe they only give you, I don't know, maybe they give you this side and say this is 10, and say find the volume. Okay, and they give you, they give you the length of the height or whatever here. So let's say this is, I don't know, 12. So, you should be able to make a triangle right there. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, well, this side of the triangle is 5, half of it. And then this angle would be really 360 divided by 12 would give me 30. And then you could find that side right there by using tangent. Tangent of 30 would equal the opposite leg over the adjacent. And once you find y there, you can find the area of that triangle by using area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And once you have the area of that little triangle here, you could times it by 12 because there'd be 12 of those to fill in that hexagon, because I'd have 6 big triangles, which would mean I'd have 12 small right triangles. Okay, so anyways, just wanted to touch on that. Make sure you remember. All right, here's a triangular prism. Again, same thing, they gave us the area of the base. So it's just going to be volume equals 25 times 5.9. Okay, it was, well, I guess put the formula above it. So my base area here of this whole triangle here is 25, and then the height right here is 5.9. So you multiply those. Missed my decimal point there. And I get my volume equals 147.5 cubic units. And they might not give you the area of the base. They might, if it's a triangle, they might say, something like this. They might show you, these are new numbers here. They might say, oh, well, this side is 10 and this side is 5. Obviously, it's not drawn to scale because this side over here, this side is much longer than the other side, or shorter than the other side. So, you'd have to use your formula for area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height like that. So it'll be 1/2 times 10 times 5. That would give me my area is 25. But really that A there, I'm going to cross it off. That's the area of your base. So that would get plugged in right there in that situation. Okay. So just want to make sure, we understand this, no matter how the problem is presented to us. Okay. A cube. Now this wasn't on your formula sheet, but a cube is basically a prism. So your volume is just side cubed. So this would just be 5 cubed. So if the side is 5, it's 5 times 5 times 5. And your cube would look something like this. All sides are the same. So it's 5 times 5 times 5. So you could think of it again just like a prism, where this is your base, and the area of that base is 25 because it's a 5 by 5 square. And then this 5 here is my height. So you could think of it as base times height, but you got to go ahead and find your capital B there. Rectangular prism, again, you could think of it as volume equals base times height. But if they give it to you in like the length, width, height formula, you could think length times width times height like that. And you could kind of think of it like as if the length times width is your base. So, if I did it this way, volume equals 10 times 15 times 9, that is actually what your base would look like. Your base would be 150. So either way, so my volume would equal 1350 cubic units. All right, a cylinder. A cylinder is kind of like a prism. It's just your base is a circle. So we say, instead of saying 1/2 base times height for a cylinder, we just we know that it's a circle. So your base is pi r squared times height. So it's kind of the same idea. So what's the volume of a cylinder in cubic inches with a height of 10 inches and a base diameter of 4 inches? So here's the bottom of my cylinder. Here's the top. So if the diameter is 4, that means my radius is 2 and my height is 8. So your volume equals pi r squared times height. Cubic inches. Oh, this one tells me to round. So let's type it into my calculator, 32 times pi. So that would be better. Use the pi button too. Don't type in 3.14. It's more accurate if you use the pi button. All right, volume of a cone. So a cone volume is 1/3 pi r squared times height. And it's kind of like as if this cone, if I were to put this inside a cylinder with the same base. Okay, so picture it looking like this. Here's my cylinder, same base. So if I put that cone inside that cylinder, what happens is the cylinder fills up 3 times more volume than the cone. Like if I were to fill them each with water, the cone would be triple the volume of, the cylinder would be triple the volume of the cone. Or you could say the cone is 1/3 the cylinder. So the cone volume is 1/3 the cylinder volume, or the cylinder is 3 times the cone volume, either way. But if I want to find the cone volume, here's my formula on the left. It's 1/3 the volume of that same cylinder, okay? So my radius here would be 18. I'm sorry, my radius would be half of 18, which is 9. So my volume is 1/3 pi times 9 squared times 20. So my volume is 540 pi cubic units. Okay, I think they promised to leave it in terms of pi. Yep. All right, here's another one, this time no picture. So here's my circle on the bottom, has a radius of 14.7. And then my height is much smaller, so I'm not going to take it up real high. I'm just going to kind of keep it kind of low here. It's a low cylinder. It doesn't really matter, your picture, as long as you have everything in the right spot. So this is 3.9. So volume equals 1/3 pi 14.7 squared, 3.9. This one tells me to round. There's my volume in cubic units. All right, so pyramids behave just like a cylinder. They fill up one, just like a cone does with a cylinder. A pyramid, if I put in the same exact rectangular prism with the same bases, it would fill up 1/3 of the volume. So here's another one. I'll kind of draw the picture here. If I were to put that pyramid in the same prism, the same base, okay, it would look something like this. Okay, so that pyramid would take up 1/3 of that volume that's in the same prism. Or you could say the prism takes up 3 times the volume of that pyramid. Now we have to use 1/3 area of the base times the height, because I don't know what the base is going to be. It could be a square, rectangle, triangle, hexagon, could be anything. So my base here is going to be a square, so it's 3 squared, or 3 times 3. So this one ends up being 12 cubic units. And honestly, my picture kind of should be a little bit lower there to get that top of the pyramid right kind of in the center of the prism. All right, here's another one. This time my base is a rectangle because I have different dimensions. So my base is 14 times 9. Oops, drop my calculator. Triangular base. This is where it gets a little confusing for kids, because your formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. I'm going to use some colors here to color code this. And then your formula for volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. All right, so here's some colors here. So the base of the pyramid, I'm going to use this blue highlighter here, is the area of this triangle. All right, that is my capital B. All right, the height of the pyramid is from the top of the pyramid down to the base at 90 degrees. Okay, you see how they have that 90-degree angle right there? That's 90 degrees. Okay, but then we have to find the area of the triangle. The base of the triangle is right there. That's why I colored that in blue. And then the height of the triangle is right here. It goes to it at 90 degrees. So, so that is the height of the triangle. So when I go to find that, and another thing too is this area is really your capital B is the area of the base. So it's going to be 1/2 times 16 times 11. So my area of the base is 88. So it's 1/3 times 88 times 21. Okay. So it's 6/16. Okay. If they don't give you a picture, you should be able to do it. The only difference here is they tell you the perimeter of the square base is 10.1. So there's 4 sides, so you'd have to divide it by 4. And you get 2.525 is the sides of your square base. 2.525 is the sides of your square base. So then your pyramid comes up here to all of those. So your formula is volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. So it's 2.525 squared times the height, which is 13.4. So I end up getting my volume is roughly 28.5. And we have units on this time, so it's cubic units. All right, a sphere. Volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So my radius here is 2.6. So volume equals 4/3 pi 2.6 cubed. So I'll just plug it in. So I get my volume equals 73.6 cubic feet. And then a hemisphere is half of a sphere. So I always think of it, I know I could simplify this formula. I just times it by 1/2. Okay. So, you could, if you wanted to, reduce this and make that 2/3, but I feel like that's more confusing. So I'm going to just leave it like that, times 1/2. So if your diameter is 6.7, you got to divide it by 2 to get your radius. 3.35 is my radius. So 4/3 pi 3.35 cubed, and then times 1/2. So I got 78.7 cubic units, okay? Let me double check that. 4/3 times pi 3.35 cubed times 1/2. Yep. All right. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.